What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and in this video we're going to be comparing the key differences between the Samsung Galaxy S7 and the LG G5. So both of these have been announced today at MWC. Now they're going to be going head to head, and if you're not sure which one you want to pre-order, then hopefully this video will help you make that decision. So initially let's start off with the size difference. The LG G5 does come in slightly larger compared to the Samsung Galaxy S7, 7mm in terms of the height, 4.3mm in terms of the width. However, the Samsung Galaxy S7 is 0.2mm thicker. Now the overall larger size of the G5 does come down to the larger screen size, which is 5.3 inches compared to 5.1 inches on the Samsung Galaxy S7. We've got different technologies here as well, IPS Quantum versus Super AMOLED. This is going to come down to personal preference, and also we are going to have to see these in more detail. Both of these displays, however, do have an always on feature. Now, this is going to mean that you can have things like your clock and your notifications on at all times. So you can just simply glance over rather than having to actually take any action on your smartphone. So this is definitely a nice touch and something that both devices have brought forward this year. In terms of resolution, you've got Quad HD on both, 2560 by 1440. The S7, however, because it does have a slightly smaller display, you do have a higher PPI, but it's not really going to be noticeable because it's not that much of a big difference. Now in terms of the weight, the LG G5 does weigh roughly about 7 grams more. Not much in it once again, but we do have quite a bit of a difference in terms of the design and build. The G5 has a full metal body, a full metal unibody, but it does have a removable bottom, so it's got a modular design, which we'll be talking about a little bit more later. The S7, they've taken the same design language from the S6 and the Note 5. So you've got a metal frame with glass panels on the front and the back, but the back glass panel is actually slightly curved, so this will make it easier to use in one hand. And because it is smaller than the G5, it is overall going to be a more comfortable device to use. Now, one thing that you are going to have with both of these is that they are going to be quite slippery in the hand because of the materials used. So I definitely recommend picking up a dbrand skin, and I'd like to thank dbrand for sponsoring this video. dbrand offer a huge variety of skins for your devices, and it's a great way to customize the look of your device and at the same time give your device more protection from scratches and fingerprints, and also some more grip. I'm going to be leaving a link to dbrand in the description below, so do go ahead and check them out. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Now, the S7 does have an advantage over the G5, and that's IP68 water and dust resistance. So you're not going to have any issues getting some water on the Samsung Galaxy S7. You are going to have issues if you do get it on the G5. So this is nice. It's a new feature. This is not something that we had on the S6. You also have an S7 Edge version available. So this is a larger version of the S7. It's also got dual curved displays. So that's also a nice option if you want to go for it. And it's a unique and a very nice looking device in my opinion. Now looking at the internals, the G5 has the Snapdragon 820 processor. The Samsung Galaxy S7 is said to also have the Snapdragon 820 or the Exynos Octa processor, depending on which market you are in. We are going to have to put these side by side in terms of performance to see which one comes out on top. Both of these devices also have 4GB of RAM. In terms of internal storage, you've got 32GB on both. However, both are expandable, so you've got a micro SD card slot, so you can expand that storage. A great option to have. There is also going to be a 64GB version of the S7, I believe, but that is only going to be limited to certain markets. Now let's move on to the cameras, and this is the most interesting part, and it's probably going to take the longest time to explain as well. The G5, you've actually got two cameras, so it's a dual camera setup. The first camera is 16 megapixels with an f1.8 aperture, and the second is a super 135-degree wide-angle 8 megapixel camera with an f2.4 aperture. So the thinking behind this is basically you'll be using your 16 megapixel camera for most of your shots, but say you want to capture a landscape or something in the background, then you can sort of zoom out and capture that addition. You can also use both for an image, so that way later on you can zoom out of an image and get that wider angle shot. So that's definitely a nice touch, and it's quite interesting that LG have gone this way. They had this for the front facing camera on the LG V10, and it's nice to have this additional feature here on the G5. Now with the Samsung Galaxy S7, you've got 12 megapixels, so you've got a lower resolution, but you've got f1.7 aperture, so it's got wider aperture, so that should help towards a low light. And you've got dual pixel autofocus, so this is supposed to be a very fast autofocus, so we're going to have to check this out hands on. You've got laser autofocus on the LG G5. Both, I believe, do have optical image stabilization, but we've not seen this confirmed as yet, but I do believe both have optical image stabilization. What we'll do is, once we've got both smartphones in-house, we're going to be doing a side-by-side camera comparison like we do every year on the channel, so make sure you have subscribed to see that first. Now, in terms of video, both of these can film at up to 4K resolution. Front-facing cameras, you've got 8 megapixels on the G5 and you've got 5 megapixels on the Samsung Galaxy S7. Now, I'm not sure what the aperture is on both of these, so once again, we are going to have to test these out with those selfies to see which one does better. Last year, the LG G4 as well as the Samsung Galaxy S6 did come in my top 5 selfie smartphones of 2015, so I'm pretty confident that we're also going to be seeing both of these cameras in the top 5 this year too. Now, moving on to the operating systems, you've got Android Marshmallow on both of these, but they both have their skins on top. So you've got Samsung's TouchWiz UI on the Samsung Galaxy S7. On the G5, you have LG's Optimus UI. Now, they both offer some advantages and disadvantages. We're going to be covering those in more detail later. But one point here is that the LG G5 does not have an app drawer. Now, with the S7, you can have the option of either having an app drawer or not. But on the G5, it just comes without. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to change this and allow you to add one on later on with an update or something. But this is something that's coming back in terms of feedback, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be disappointed about that. In terms of the additional features, both of these do have a fingerprint scanner. Now, the G5 has one on the back of the device, whereas the S7 has one on the front and the home button of the device. Now, we'll test these out in terms of the speed and which one's more accurate, but basing it on last year, the Nexus 5X was faster, a lot faster compared to the Samsung Galaxy S6. So it'll be interesting to see if there's been any major improvements here on the home button fingerprint scanner of the Samsung Galaxy S7. Now, the G5 also has USB Type-C, so this is reversible and it's the future, so that's nice to see. Samsung actually opted not to go for a USB Type-C cable, and they've still stuck with a micro USB cable. They're saying that this is because it would still be compatible with the Gear VR headsets that are out there. I'm not sure what the exact reason is. That's what's actually being said in the tech world right now, and I'm pretty disappointed. I would have liked to have seen USB Type-C, so I would give the advantage here to the LG G5. Now, the other thing that the LG G5 has is a modular or magic slot, whatever you want to call it, and this is going to allow you to add different modules to the G5. One is a camera module, so this is going to give you extended battery life for more shots, and also a dedicated shutter button and zoom button and things like that, which should help with your photography. But as well as that, you can get a hi-fi module, which is going to improve your audio and things, and there's going to be more modules coming up soon. So this is definitely quite nice and something different, not something we've seen before. That modular slot is also going to allow you to remove the battery and replace it, and that's a 2800 milliamp battery. The Samsung Galaxy S7 has a 3000 milliamp battery, but this is not removable. So although you do have a slightly larger battery on the S7, it's not removable like you have on the G5. In terms of real world usage, we are going to have to test these out side by side. Both of them, however, do have fast charging. So this is going to be great for getting those quick top-ups. You have wireless charging on the S7. There's nothing being mentioned of the G5 for wireless charging. I'm not sure if you need to get a case or something like you had to do with the G4, but that is still a bit of a question mark as yet. In terms of pricing and availability, the Samsung Galaxy S7 is going to be going for around about £570 here in the UK, around about $650 to $700 in the US. You can pre-order it in a few days or even now here in the UK, and it's going to be available on 11th of March. With the LG G5, they've not confirmed pricing and availability as yet. I'd expect roughly about the same, so around about £550 to $650 in the US, and the release is likely to be towards the end of March or April time. That's what's being rumored right now, but nothing confirmed as yet. So those were the key differences between the LG G5 and the Samsung Galaxy S7. Which do you think of these flagships is the better one this year? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And as mentioned, we're going to have detailed hands-on coverage of both of these as soon as they are out, including SuperSaf style camera comparisons, which I know you guys like to see. So if you want to see those first, then make sure you have subscribed to the channel. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.